Hey guys, this is KinoDVT here, bringing you a patch summary of patch 3.4, I believe, not exactly sure. Now this patch did launch very recently, and I'm extremely excited about this patch. Now the reasons behind this is I play Protoss a lot, and they fixed PvP. Now PvP has been so annoying, because it's just 4 gate, 4 gate, 4 gate, 4 gate, 4 gate, more 4 gates, and 4 gate again! And this bugs me. And as you can see by my portrait and stuff, that's what I like. It's just, yes. Hey, new achievements. Huh, okay. Apparently there's a bunch of new achievements which I've never seen before. Or I think they may have just stuffed up with the patch that did happen last time. So yeah, anyway, back to what is important, the patch summaries. Now, most of this patch, or at least the Protoss changes, was designed for fixing PvP. PvP, yes, player versus player, no, Protoss versus Protoss. And the problem is that I think they may have forgotten about PvT, PvZ, and all the other things. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. So I'm just going to run down the changes, and an Archon is now a massive unit. PvZ, it has one applicable. Let's see, if you have a teammate who uses the Phoenix to lift up the Archon, your Corruptor will then deal bonus damage. Woohoo. PvT, nothing as far as I know does bonus damage versus massive. Doesn't really change much. There is a change under Terran which could affect an Archon, but we'll chuck that in later. It kind of affects the entire Protoss. So they're now a massive unit. Here's the big thing that affects. They can now destroy force fields. The only ground unit that could do that before was a Colossi, so you had to walk your Colossi forward to deal with sentry force fields. Now you can do that with an Archon, which is kind of nice. And now here's a big change to an Archon: range increase from 2 to 3. So that's a fairly big change. Range 2 to 3. So 3 range is how much the Roach had pre-patch 1.2, or was it 2.1? I can't remember. 1.1, I think. I'm completely blanking, to be honest. Whatever the patch number was, that's when they increased the Roach range from 3 to 4. Now there's no unit with a range of 3, but what does have a range of 3 is, think about Colossi. Range 6 to range 9, that is a 3 range. That is approximately, the range difference between 3 to 6 is what you're going to have. Your Immortals have a range of 6, I believe, and your Colossi. So that distance is about what the Archons are going to be. If you can picture that in your mind, in-game, then you're good. That's about the range that the Archons will be based around, and that's fairly good. I kind of like this change. I've been using Archons a lot recently, especially versus Zerg, which I've been thinking about. I don't think they really have a hard counter to it, and makes their life a little bit difficult. Moving on down the changes, Cybernetics Core. This is a big change. Research Warp Gate, time for Warp Gate increased from 140 to 160. Now this is to help the OP-ness of a 4 gate, maybe. So it's an interesting. I did play a game earlier today, very recently. If we have a look at my match history, it was about half an hour ago. 52 minutes apparently. So this is a very big change. I did notice it. I was like, why hasn't Warpgate finished yet? Why hasn't Warpgate finished it? Oh yeah, now it's finished. So I did notice it unconsciously, but it's not a drastic change. It's like 20 seconds. So timing attacks based around Warpgate, i.e. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, it's now going to be 6-ish, 7-ish, because of this change. However, due to changes detailing of the gateway... Oh, that is interesting. Gateway sentry train time increased from 42 to 37. That is impressive. Now, I did actually believe that that was a universal change to Zealots and Stalkers, but it's not, so I rather like this. So basically your sentries, your ability to build a wall and keep enemies out, is they're easy to get without going Warp Gate. So this is going to allow you to get lots of walls and stuff and things like that. And I think that's pretty good. Wow, I don't have many losses over the last couple of days. I've been playing with a new strategy, and as you can see, I've lost 1, 2. I implemented it about here. 1, 2, 3. Holy crap, that's not many losses at all. Tangents for the win, people. Sentry, so 42, 37. Not a massive change, but enough to be noticeable in that if you say pumped out sentries, you'd need to pump out 5 sentries and you'd have 6 instead. I'm pretty sure my mental math works. Warp Gate unit times remain unchanged, so I think the Warp Gate times is I don't believe I can actually check that in game. The Warp Gate, maybe it says under here, let's see. Sentry, Stalker, no, Warp Gate. No, I don't think you can actually check that. Pity. So, yes. Oy. Let's Ultralisks. No, hold on, where'd they go? Ultralisks, versus Armored. Okay, so the only unit for Zerg that got bonus damage versus Archons was Ultralisks, and now they no longer do that. So, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what changes with that. Maybe Ultralisk will now get a massive damage increase. And an Armored? No, that doesn't really work. We'll see how they handle that. Anyway, back to the patch changes. So, Warp Gate times remain unchanged, so exactly the same as with Zealot and Stalker, which I really like because I was very, very concerned pre-patch about 2-gate proxies. If anyone played in beta or in launch week, actually, you know my pain. Protoss proxies, just mass Zealot proxies, were insanely powerful to the point where it was kind of hard to beat them. Like, you had, in 2v2 and more, it was even more predominant. But nothing to do with the patch changes now, so we'll leave that out of it. Pylon power radius has decreased from 7.5 to 6.5. I did notice this. When I played my game as Protoss earlier, I noticed this. I was bugged by it, even, is a good word. I was bugged to the point where I was like, why have you done this? But I understand why they've done it. So one of the problems they were having is you were able to place a pylon at the bottom of a ramp and put cannons up the top. Like, more than one. Like, you could put 2 or 3 or 4 up there. And that was causing problems with cannon rushes and cannon defense and things like that. So it's not a massive change. 7.5 to 6.5, that's not particularly big. It's like, Marines have... let's not even go there. It's just not a big change. It's gonna bug me. I'm sure of that. There's gonna be times where I'm gonna be like, oh, I wish I had that extra range because then I'd be able to build this or blah blah blah. But it's not so much of a massive change that I'm gonna go, nah, quit, go play Zerg or some shit. It's not that big of a deal. Now, moving on to Terran changes. So Protoss, Protoss summary, PvP may be fixed. Might not, don't know. I haven't played a PvP yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Terran, bunker, salvage resource return reduced from 100 to 75. I think this stems from a full marine bunker rush. You could take out a couple of Zerglings or a Zealot or 2 and then salvage, get out of there with no cost. That's not really acceptable. So there has to be a cost to salvaging, and that is 25% less minerals. I'll be interested to see how they've implemented this, like where the numbers cut, because I think a bunker costs 150. I, to be honest, have no idea. I don't play bunker enough. No, let's not do that. Play guide. Protoss tech tree, Terran tech tree. Does it say? No, it doesn't. But however much they do cost, it's not going to be that massive. That much of a massive increase. The thing that may be annoying to some players is you may end up with 2 or 3 minerals which you cannot spend over the course of a game. So I'll be interested to see how they've split the numbers, where they've decided that 25% lies. Ghost. So this is the big change that affects Protoss, my main race, so I'm a little biased. Ghost increase... Well, increased is the wrong word. Ghost cost changed from 150 to 150 to 200 100. So I think this means that we're going to see a lot more Ghost play along with, say, Terran Mech, or Terran Tanks, or Terran Air, or a lot more Medivacs in an MMMG. Yeah, that's right. So that's... I like this change. It was sorely needed, in my opinion. Ghosts are just kind of stupendously expensive. Like, they're now a little better, but you think about it, you could produce 2 Stalkers for that amount of gas, and it was the same amount of minerals close to. And it was the same with the Marauder, except you could produce like 5 Marauders gas-wise. So the gas needed to be changed a little, and I do like the mineral increase. They're now getting close to an Immortal, which is not a bad summary, given they rape Immortals and Archons with their EMPs. Thors now have 200 max energy and start with 50 energy. 250 mil Stark cannons will cost 150 energy to use. Cooldown removed. So this is interesting. I think this might stem from one Thor timing attacks, which were... You wait, like, you've got 1 or 2 Thors, and you're marching across the map, and the time you push, instead of stim, you're pushing when you get the strike cannons upgrade, and that just allows you to single target down 1 unit incredibly fast. So I think, like, Immortals were just getting ripped to shreds, and Immortals are your counter to Thors. That's just my PvT example. PvZ, like, your queen just died, and that might be your support unit, which has 2 or 3 heals on your roaches or something. So, interesting change. Doesn't really bug me. It's now going to take them 100 seconds before they can use it from spawn. So that's little evil, but don't particularly mind. Zerg, Infestor, speed decreased from 2.5 to 2.225. Not a big change. I'm not exactly sure how much I like this change. This change, to me, seems to be a bit like a flavor of the month change. They've changed it because so many people are using Infestors that they need to change the metagame to get people to stop. And this is how they do it. They change the metagame by making them less useful. So, doesn't affect me all that much. I'm really glad that Infestors are being a bit nerfed so that they're going to be used less, because I'm getting really annoyed at them because they're kind of bugging me. Let's see, final change on the list. Win 30 AGM games in IGR. No idea what that means. I really don't. Don't know why the achievements get really stuffed up when they try and just mess with stuff. Maybe this was achievements they were messing with, because as you can see, it's like placed in the top 25. That's the random. Placed in win 50 games in that rank, maybe, then gold, then there's diamond. I don't get it, to be honest. Anyway, back to the Spore Crawler. Route time decreased from 12 to 6. Phoenixes, beware. I'm going to move my Spore Crawlers to your Phoenixes. Also detection. Zerg creep kind of goes all over the map, so Spore Crawlers can only detect while rooted. So I think at a pro level, we might start seeing some more mobile detection. So you bring one Spore Crawler along, some DTs turn up, you throw down a Spore, you burrow it if you're on creep, and 6 seconds really isn't all that much. I mean, compare it to the fact that your other form of detection, if you don't have one, being an Overseer, would take you 17 seconds. So it's a good change. I like it. It also means that you can move your Spore Crawlers around a lot quicker. With some Phoenixes in the back of your base. That's something you need to do. That's an interesting thought. Can you pick up an unburrowed Spore Crawler with a Phoenix? Don't know. This is KenoDVT. Signing off. Closing notes. Good patch. I like it. The intent behind it was very, very good, in that PvP needed to be changed. Something needed to happen to the Foregate, and this was it. The research time nerf might have been enough, but on top of that, they buffed Gateway Sentries. And Gateway Sentries are the easiest way to just wall off. So I like it, and I'll be interested to see how this plays out. And this is KenoDVT signing off. Please use the comment section below to give me any thoughts on this episode, anything I missed, anything you believe is wrong. I can be known to be wrong. I am wrong on a regular basis, so there you go. Please use the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would help me a lot. But do you know what would help me even more? Is if you would subscribe. I really would like to get a regular viewership going on, so if you're watching this and you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I intend to release one every patch, and I do SC2 shoutcasts, and I've got a LoL game up there. I'm planning on doing another LoL game tomorrow when the new champion comes out, another review, this time of, I can't remember her name, Chick of the Night something. So please rate, comment, subscribe. If I rambled on a bit, tell me I rambled on a bit. If I'm shit, tell me I'm shit. But tell me how to improve, guys, because I want to be better for you. So tell me how you think I could get better, and that'll help. No one's going to get that achievement. Placed in the top 100 of Grandmaster League. Woohoo! This is KenoDVT, signing off.